Hi everyone and welcome to my Stampin Studio. I'm Tina Raby and this is my Facebook Live for March 30th, 2022. So some exciting things happened this week. Number one, my new catalog came in the mail. So this is it. And unfortunately I can't show you anything but the cover, but let me tell you, there are wonderful things in here. A lot of really good carryover items from before that I'm so happy to see have not left us, but many, many good things. And let's see, next Friday, I signed up for a Stampin' Up! Virtual event. And so that's a 3-hour event that Stampin' Up! Is putting on, and it's called On Tour. And so that's why I got my catalog early. Everyone that signed up for that got their catalog. All other demonstrators will be getting theirs a little bit later. But anyway, and then we also got a stamp set, and this is the stamp set that I got, and you guys are seeing it backwards. So there are 6 different stamps in here. I'm just so happy for you. You're on my mind and in my heart. Hip, hip, hooray. Sending sunshine and good feelings your way, and thank you. So when I had looked through the catalog and started making a list of things that I want to get, this is one that was on my list. So I was really happy for that. This Friday on April 1st, Stampin' Up! Is going to post for demonstrators a pre-order list, and that is on the big catalogs they go through and they pick out probably around 8 or 10 stamp sets that we can pre-order, all the in colors and that type of thing, as well as some designer paper, and we can place that pre-order right away April 1st. So I'm excited to do that and see what else we can get right away. And then the catalog goes live to everybody in May 3rd is the date for that. So exciting things coming up. But tonight I have a fun fold card. So it's a new technique, and this is the card, and then when you open it, so it's called a corner pop-up card, and it has a book binding cover, and that's what this is, and I'll explain that a little bit more as we're actually making it. But when you open the card up, check that out. Isn't that cute? So it's a corner pop-up card. All right. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I've got a second card that I did with the same corner pop-up. So let me grab this. I am going to cover the screen up, and I'm going to go ahead and flip things down. And we will get started on making this card. So let me get this back in place. And let's flip that down. There we go. Okay, so I just want to make sure that everything is going to show up here where we need it to be. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I need to raise things up just a bit. Yeah, that looks like it'll work. So we're using the Sweet Strawberry stamp set and the coordinating Strawberry Builder Punch. Both of these are on the last chance list, the retiring list. Now on that retiring list, guys, look through that. There are many things that are already gone. But there are many things that still have awesome deals. And remember, as of April 1st, the cost of shipping is going up. Not much, going up just slightly. But look through that list of the last chance list and see if there are things that you're wanting, and get them while you can still save some money on the shipping. So, enough about that. Let's start creating this card. Okay, so as I said, it has a book binding front to it, and that is unlike a regular card. Like, let's see, this is one that we did last week, where a regular card opens like all the way up. This one is a book binding, so it's stuck together here and it opens this way. So we've got that going on with it, but again, here is the pop-up. And it's really easy. Okay, so we're going to start out with a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. And this measures 4 1/4 by 11. Now I will have all the measurements for this card on my blog tomorrow, and that's stampinstudio.com. But let me show you what we're going to do. So as I said, 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to score it at 4 1/4 inches, at 5 1/2, and then at 6 3/4. So this is our paper trimmer that has this arm that extends out so that we can get it to the 6 3/4 that we need here. Okay, so we have those all scored. And then while I've got this out, I'm going to show you the one other thing that we need to score. I have a piece of thick basic white, and this measures 8 inches by 8 inches. And we're going to score this at 4 inches and turn it and do 4 inches again. Okay, so now I hope you guys can see it on here. We've got it scored here and here. And what I want to do is I want to cut off this upper left corner. So I'm going to put it back in here at 4 inches. And now I'm going to use the cutting blade. And I am going to bring that right down to the 4-inch mark. Okay. And then I'm going to turn this, put it back on 4 inches, and do the same thing again. Coming down and right to that 4-inch mark down here. Okay, then this piece comes out. You can set this aside and use it for another part of this card. So now this is what we have. It's scored here and it's scored here, and we've got that upper right chunk out of there. Next, what I want to do is I want to score this from this point all the way down here. So the way to do that is to use this little track that's in here. Okay, this is where the cutting blade or the scoring blade goes, is in this little track. So I want to line that up right here and then right down here. I think you guys can see that whole thing. Yeah. Okay, so I've got the point on there and the little notch there. Close this and use my scoring blade and score that. Okay, so that is all that we need that for. I'm going to set this aside, and right now we're going to work on the outside of the card. Okay, so this is where we've scored it, and I am going to fold it in half, and that is on that 5 1/2 inch mark. Anytime you're doing fun fold cards, you want to make sure that you take your bone folder and burnish these sides really well. It will make them work so much better. Okay, now we have this other score line that we did. That was the 4 1/4 score line. And we're going to bring this back. And then we have one more score, and that was a 6 3/4 one. And we're just going to bring that back a little bit. That one we do not have to burnish that. Okay, so this is what we have. And then I'm going to use some of the Stampin' Seal. And on this center section here, this is where we want to put our adhesive, and we want to be generous with it because this is a fun fold card. It's got movement to it, and you want to make sure that things hold real well. So I've got adhesive just on this part, and then I'm just going to close it up. And this then is our book binding that I was talking about. Okay, so this part stays stationary. This opens up. Okay, this is where we have scored it. All right, and then let's work on embellishing the front or decorating it. So I have a piece of the black and white gingham paper, and this is from the pattern party paper, which is a hostess designer paper. I had someone asking me about that the other day. So just in case you guys aren't familiar with it, this is the current catalog. And down here on the bottom of page 171, this Pattern Party paper is 12 by 12 paper. And there are 48 sheets of amazing paper in that. I will be sad to see that go. All right, and so this is 1 inch by 4 inches, and I have a piece of basic black, and this is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. So we're just going to go ahead and put the adhesive on the back of that. And then let's go ahead and stick that on. So this is just going to have the tiniest little border around here. Okay, and then this is going to go on the bookbinding part of the card. Like that. Okay, and then next I have another piece of basic black, and this measures 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So let's go ahead and put that on the front. And just making sure that we have it centered from top to bottom and side to side. All right, we have that. Now, remember this piece that I cut out of here? And this measures 4 by 4. We're going to take that and put it in the Hive embossing folder. Okay, so it's going to go in like that. And we end up with this. And this then is just a tiny bit smaller. So we'll have a little border around there. But before we do that, I want to grab my bow maker and some of the black and white gingham ribbon. Now this ribbon was in the holiday mini catalog, and it is a carryover item. So even though you don't see it in the current big catalog, it is available. Okay, and with this, I want to make a bow. So let's do that. Okay, so I have one short end, one short tail, and then, because this bow is going to be offset, so then I want a longer tail over here. So grab my scissors and trim that off, and we're done with that ribbon. Now what I like to do is flip it over and put some adhesive on both sides here where this ribbon is going to go. So I'm going to say about like that, and then I just wrap the tail ends to the back side. Okay, let me straighten this bow out a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to adhere this on here. And because this is embossed with this Hive embossing folder, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the back side of that paper and flatten out the image. So this time I am putting the adhesive directly on this card front. And then I can place it where I need it. Okay, like that. Okay, now we are going to, oh, where'd my other piece go? Well, let me grab one out. Hang on here. Okay, a piece of basic white. And with this, we're going to use Poppy Parade ink and the 2 different strawberries in here. So I'll get one. I'm going to stamp this one 3 times across here, and I'm going to space them out a fair amount. Okay, now you see the little blotches in here? That is the way that this stamp is designed. Okay, so it's a distinctive type of stamp. So if you look here on this one, you can see where there's a lighter patch in there. Okay, so we have that. Then we're going to take the outline image, and I debated in doing this with the Poppy Parade ink or in the Memento ink, and I really liked the way it looked with the Poppy Parade. So that's what we're doing, just stamping right over it. And once more. Okay, so we have those. And the reason I spaced them out like this is we're going to use the punch. Get it open here. Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay. And when we put this in, I wanted it spaced out because this punch also punches other things and it's a little small. Now, do you notice when I put it in here how I can't get it all the way? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off some of that paper. I could have stamped the strawberries a little closer to the edge, but this works just fine as well. Okay, so we're going to punch out 3 of these, and I'm going to flip it over because it's trying to punch through that whole thing with the flowers and the leaves as well, and makes it a little bit tougher to punch that way. So let's get all 3 of these. So I have been really perusing through the new catalog, and oh my gosh, guys, there are so many stamp sets that I want to use for classes, in-person classes and classes in the mail. So be watching for those to be listed coming up soon. Okay, so we have 3 strawberries, and then, well, I don't know what happened to everything. I had it out. I need a piece of old olive cardstock. There we go. So with this, we're going to use old olive ink. And we're using the stems. So we're going to do 3 of these. I'm just going to do the first one here. Okay, so it's the same punch, and I need to turn this around to be able to get the punch in there. Okay, so still not going to be able to do it there. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to stamp it again. Once there. Now I can put this in here and punch this out. And I'm going to do this 3 times. There's one. Let's stamp another one. I love that all of these images are on this punch, but sometimes when you're just looking to get just one, it's hard to remember which way to stamp it. Okay, and we need one more. 3. Okay. Okay, so let's get our 1, 2, 3 pieces there. All right, let's set this stuff aside. Good. All right, and then I am going to adhere the stems to the strawberries. 1. 2. And 3. Okay, let's bring our card back over here. And we're going to put the strawberries on with the dimensionals. If you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you will be getting the catalog in the mail shortly. If you do not have a demonstrator that you're working with, I would love to send you a catalog. The deadline for me to order and have the catalog shipped from Stampin' Up! To you is tomorrow, March 31st. So if you do not have a demonstrator that you're working with and you would like to get one, just pop me an email or comment on here, and I'll make sure you get one. Okay, next thing, I have a piece of basic white, and on here I am going to stamp from the same Sweet Strawberry stamp set. I'm going to stamp with Memento ink, and this says, "That was so sweet of you." All right. And then this is the Label Me Pretty stamp set, I believe, or punch. I believe that's what this one is called. It's one on the retired list. So I just want to make sure, because there's a couple Label Me something. Oh, this is Label Me Fancy. Oh, and this one is not retiring. Sweet. Good deal. Anyway, so I've got that stamped, and I'm going to get this in here and get that centered. There we go. So we have that. And then, oh, I've got to take my sweater off. I'm hot. Okay. Then on a scrap piece of Poppy Parade, I'm going to punch out 2 more of these. Okay, we are now ready to assemble. So what I want to do is I want to create red around this. So what I'm going to do, that doesn't really make sense, does it? But just watch what I'm saying. I'm going to take one of these and cut it across horizontally. I'm going to take the other one and cut it vertically. Okay. And then all right, where did it go? Here we go. I'm going to take my seal adhesive and put on the back of it, and then I'm going to attach that so we have red around it. I'm going to attach it on the bottom side as well. So by doing this, we have the same shape, but we've got, you know, a layer behind it then. Okay, and then next, we're going to put adhesive on those sides and do the same thing over here. There and right there. So now we have our label with the red all the way around it. Okay. This is going to go on with some dimensionals. Surprise, surprise. And that's going to go down here. And then we're going to finish off the front of this with some of the red rhinestones. Okay, so we'll just pick a few of these off. And let's get one more here. Okay, so the front is done. Now, let's take a look at how to do that inside. So, we'll get this piece back out. And this is the one that was, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, right in the middle of a big yawn. This is 8 by 8, scored at 4 and 4. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold back on that diagonal line. Okay, like that. And then we are going to fold each of these squares forward. So this is how it was. We're folding these up and we're folding the diagonal to make it a mountain fold. All right, we've got that. Now we're going to decorate that inside before we put it in here. So we're going to start out kind of doing the same thing that we did for the outside. I'm going to use the strawberry. I'm going to stamp that down there, and then I'm going to use that strawberry outline. And let's hover this over the top. Okay. And then we're going to do the stem again. Oh, let's see, which way did that punch go? This way. And go right in here. And let's go ahead and stick this right there in the card. Right there. And then on the inside, so on the outside it says, "That was so sweet of you." And on the inside, we've got a thank you. All right, all the stamping is done, just a little bit more. Another piece of that gingham, and this is 4 inches by 1 inch. And that's gonna go right down there. Okay, now our inside is done. We just have to put it in the card, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're going to fold this up like that. So it's gonna go in the card like this. We are going to put this part in first. So I'm gonna flip it upside down. And we're gonna put our adhesive on all 4 corners and then do some across, because again, this is a fun fold card and it is going to move. Okay, and we're going to put it on here. So what I want to do is I want to hover over it before I push it down. All right, and then let's push that down. So see, that's how it's going to go. Now we're going to put adhesive here on this part. Same thing, all 4 corners and diagonal, and then we're just going to close it. All right, there's the front of our card, and there is the pop-up. See how easy that is? It's really fun. I've got another one to show you then. And this one uses Freeze a Bird stamp set, which is another one that is retiring. I used all the same measurements, and then this paper is from the Hand Pen Designer Series paper, and this ribbon is the Petal Pink, and then I used some rhinestones on there, and then here is the inside. There we go. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? I think it's a really fun little pop-up card that's really neat to do. So I want to thank you for joining me in my Stampin' Studio today, and until we meet again, enjoy life, stamp something, and eat chocolate. Bye-bye.